Okay, let me quickly tell you about what's going on and why this week's video is a little bit different. I spent the last 2 days cleaning out the shop. I didn't film all of it. I filmed a little bit of it as Cedar and the kids helped me. But I'm about to go buy another Dodge Cummins 4x4 truck. About 2 weeks ago, I got a message from somebody that watches the videos, and he told me that he had another one of these 94 Dodge Cummins 4x4 trucks that he wanted to sell. And the price was perfect, assuming it is what it is, and I can't imagine that it isn't. He wants to get rid of the truck. I originally wanted the truck for the engine, the transmission, and the transfer case to put in the crew cab Chevy. But as he told me that he's already done a whole bunch of work to this truck, and as he told me about the piles of parts that he had for this truck, I started thinking maybe I need to give this truck to Rhett and get rid of the two square bodies that I have for him. I talked with Cedar about it, and we decided to back off on Christmas for him a little bit, and that this truck would be a Christmas present and a graduation present. It's a 1994 Dodge Cummins dually, regular cab dually. It's got 240,000 miles on it, and as much as I want that drivetrain for the crew cab, it's almost a shame to tear that thing apart. So Rhett doesn't know this, but anytime now I'm going to get a text that the truck is waiting for me. It's about an hour away. I'm going to go look it over. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to bring it back here. I'm going to tell Rhett that we will fix this truck up. We'll probably take it from a dually, again, convert it from a dually to a single rear wheel truck. But I'm going to tell Rhett that this is his truck, contingent upon him hitting the GPA that he needs to hit this year and next year. Then I'll give him the title of the truck. In the meantime, he can drive the truck. It's more fuel efficient than the square bodies would be. It's just a cool truck. What 16-year-old kid wouldn't want to have an old second-gen Dodge Cummins? Because of this guy, Ray, he's now facilitating me doing this for Rhett in a way that's much more affordable. And more than anything, I just hope this motivates Rhett in a way that he hasn't been motivated thus far, I guess. He's a lot like me. School is a giant pain. I hated school. In the second I got out of high school, I had zero interest in going back to school. He likes to work with his hands like I do. And again, I hated high school. Cedar still hangs out with her friends from high school. I might have a couple of friends from high school that I communicate with. But this truck is a special truck in the sense that we could make this into something that he can be really proud of to drive. And so I'm going to offer it to him. I'm going to go pick it up. He thinks that I'm going to use it for the crew cab. He saw a picture of it on my phone. And so when I offer this to him, we'll see if he can meet us in the middle. So my point is that part of the reason I haven't gotten as much accomplished as I normally do is because I've been waiting for this guy's text. So in the meantime, I'm just kind of fixing stuff on the Ranger, fixing stuff on the Rancher. I'm going to try and finish all of the electrical today on the shop and get it ready for the inspection. But the second he sends me that text, I got to take off and go meet him up about an hour away. So hopefully the truck is what I think it is. So. I've taken one of the back tires off of Rhett's three-wheeler down to the tire shop 2 separate times now, and both times after a couple of days, the tire went flat. After helping Rhett put a new chain on the three-wheeler that he got for Christmas, I then had Rhett put the three-wheeler into gear, slightly rev the motor up, getting the rim turning. Then I used some 220 grit sandpaper on the inside lip of the aluminum rim until any nicks or dings that could have potentially been causing the leaks were removed. The end result is now the tire holds air. This time of year, even burning the hardwood maple, wood ash in the wood stove builds up. There's almost always hot coals in the wood stove, so we deliberately let the stove cool off as much as we could. Cedar stirred the hot coals. Rhett cleaned the wood stove out. Set the ashes on the front porch for a couple of days until they cooled off. Now the chickens will use the wood ash to bathe in and potentially clean with. I made a deal with the kids if they help me go through a lot of my tools out in the shop, get the shop cleaned up, that I would first get my hands on a ping pong table, then I will make a serious effort to find a pool table to go with that ping pong table. They were more than willing to jump right in and help. As cold as it is outside, they definitely didn't mind the heat that the wood stove was putting off inside the shop.
What year is that bike, Dad? 49? 49. You think that thing would ever be worth?
It took me 2 days of simply going through all of these boxes that I've moved around, going through all of these things that I've collected over the years, trying to identify what's worth keeping, piling up anything that needs to be thrown away. And the end result is I didn't get rid of that much, but more than anything, we just organized it. It's nice to know exactly what I have to work with, and after looking at my collection of spray paint cans, I shouldn't have a reason to buy any new spray paint for at least the coming year. I took the old TV stand that we had and turned it into firewood. We've had that thing close to a decade. Most of the drawers no longer work, and I decided I would put it to use one last time by feeding it into the wood-burning stove in the shop and letting it keep me warm while I'm cleaning out the shop. It's ironic how many cans of ABS and PVC glue that I've collected over the years, but yet I still keep the cans around in case I need some glue in a pinch. I told the boys that the skateboard ramp had to go if I was going to put a ping pong table there instead. Maybe at some point in the near future, I might build a smaller, safer version of that ramp. But for now, again, the skateboard ramp is going to keep me warm today. The wood-burning stove puts off a tremendous amount of heat. As a matter of fact, it's probably a little bit too much heat, as close as the stove is to the back doors. I will more than likely move my toolbox and scoot the wood-burning stove over into the corner, where it's not likely to hurt anything with the heat. Because I spent the first few days of this week cleaning out the shop, tightening up loose ends, and more or less waiting for that truck to show up, I feel like I didn't get as much done, but at the same time, walking into a clean shop has never felt any better. The plan is to dive into the house, but the one last major project on the shop is to get all of the electrical done so I can get the inspection in place, so I can be ready to hang drywall out here when the opportunity presents itself. The shop is as clean as it's ever been and probably likely to ever be. I went through boxes that I've moved around over and over and over again over the last 5 years, and I actually know where stuff's at. The shop is so warm right now that it's almost 8:30, and I'm just trying to knock out some of these little projects that I have. I just slapped a new carburetor on the little Honda Rancher. That thing runs like a top. I've got less than probably $800 tied up in this little Rancher. And tomorrow I'm going to take the kids and drag them up and down the road, do a little sledding with them before we have a real big snowstorm that's coming in. But I also need to put the emergency brake cable back on the 6x6. And I want to change the shifting mechanism back to the factory. Whoever had it before me put they hokey rigged the shifting mechanism. That's a bit of a pain. But really the emergency brakes are super critical, especially when I'm up on the hill doing stuff. And again, because I have a nice clean shop where I know the tools are at, I'm going to hang out here and do some more stuff until my wife hollers at me to come in. But because the kids helped me get the shop cleaned up, I agreed that I would find a ping pong table right away, and then the pool table. I'm still looking for a very particular pool table. I don't just want any old pool table. I want a full-size 9-foot pool table. I would love to find an old Brunswick Gold Crown. If I can find one, they're just a little bit hard to come by. But at a minimum, I'm probably going to run and get them a ping pong table tomorrow because I said I would, and they've helped me out a lot. So anyway, I'm going to keep working on the 6x6 and see if I can't get it figured out. I'm still waiting for like 2 more parts on the Honda Rancher, but I've got like $800, $700 tied up in this Rancher, and it runs like a top now. I wish I knew how many miles or hours were on it, because I would guess it's pretty low. They're the factory tires that are on it, at least on the back anyway. So this one will probably be for the kids and for Cedar to putt around, especially in the summer months. But anyway, it's nice to have a shop. Next step is let's get a lid on the shop and get some drywall going and get some insulation in there so we can really keep the heat in. But I can tell the wood stove is more than sufficient for what I'm doing. If anything, it's almost too hot, to the point where I'm probably going to move the toolbox and I'm going to move it over in the corner and let the concrete in the corner kind of act as the fire barrier. Right now where it's sitting, it's almost a little bit too close to the back door. But anyway, sure nice to have a clean shop. We'll see how long it lasts.
Okay, the last Fireside chat of 2020 in the nice clean shop. You did a good job.
It's starting to snow.
Starting to
just in time. Yeah, I made the mess out here. I suppose I should probably clean it up, even though you and the kids
You did a mighty
helped me.
fine job. I'm really impressed.
Well,
I think I might be rubbing off on you a little bit.
I just making more room for more projects. I guess that's all we're doing.
Oh,
but-
good. That's what we want. Especially if that one of those projects includes a new chicken coop outside. What do you think about that?
So we've been talking about building something that's not only predator proof, but it's weatherproof. It's maybe
Insulated.
even insulated, and that maybe I come off the end of the shop on this end and build something where I could put the generator out here so we don't hear it in the house. I could put even a birthing shed of sorts for the goats, and a place where the chickens are safe and secure, easy to collect eggs, clean, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But that's not going to happen till the ground, till the snow melts. So we're talking, and I've got to get on the house. the goal is to get all the electrical finished out here in the shop so I can get the inspection done by the end of the week. So I have the option to come out here and hang drywall, but the truth is we agreed to focus on the house.
That's why you want to work on the house. You're just putting the drywall off.
Yeah, for sure. But I just want to get the house done. That's the biggest priority.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so let's talk about my love language.
Okay.
And buying me diamonds and jewelry and stuff like that it's just not my love language.
Okay, so we've had over the years, we've had people, even somebody messaged me on Facebook a couple different times, and I didn't dignify it with a response, but some woman's perspective was that I spend money on whatever I want. I go out and buy whatever I want, whether it's an old broke down motorcycle or an old crew cab truck or whatever it happens to be. And Cedar just stays at home, washing dishes, cleaning the kitchen, while I'm out blowing money. And our point is, or Cedar's point is, just because we don't show it on a video doesn't mean that we're not talking about these things.
So we're talking about it now, that everything that we do after almost 25 years of being together, any big purchases you talk to me about, anything I need to get, I talk to you about, and we come to an equal thing, and we do it.
Yeah, if you tell me not to do it, I don't do it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, same with you, but and if I really feel strongly about something, I'll definitely put my foot down. I mean, and same with you. You'll tell me your opinion.
But you know that I'm not one to go blow money, and that I'm back to your love language. There have been times in our married life where I have tried to go out and buy you jewelry or buy you expensive things, thinking that was somehow going to better my position as the breadwinner. And the end result is I didn't get the reaction I was hoping to get. You made it clear to me that that's not how that didn't float your boat. And so
even buying me flowers, I'd rather you buy me a tree and plant it than spend money on flowers.
Yeah, we have earned every dollar we've ever had. We made a conscious decision before we had any kids that Cedar would stay home and handle the kids while I would go out and I would work. Cedar worked her tail off, and in some situations she ran the plumbing company. She ran the plumbing company from our home for years and still handled the kids. And when we managed to make a chunk of money off of the house before the recession hit, and against your judgment, I invested that money and lost all that money. And so now every time we manage to scrape together a little bit of money, we have a death grip on it, and we don't want debt. We don't want anything as the breadwinner. If I still consider myself the breadwinner, the more of that money that we accumulate, all that's doing is keeping the wolf off the front steps. And all that's doing is creating a buffer between our family and the lifestyle that we live and somebody trying to take that from us. And so if I go out and spend $1,500 on an old motorcycle, number one, the truth is that motorcycle is probably worth $2,000. Cedar knows this. If I go out and spend money on something, I don't ever buy stuff in the hole.
You end up fixing it up and selling it.
And selling it and making money off it.
And you've done that 20 times or more in a married life, with vehicles or with other things that you do. But you also thoroughly enjoy working on things like that.
That too.
And fixing them up and selling them. That
too. But more than anything, we talk the most heated conversations we've ever had in our nearly 25 years. We're coming up on our 23rd anniversary, and we've been together almost 25 years. The hardest and the most heated conversations we had were about money. Number one cause of divorce is financial stress. And so my solution to those heated conversations is just to not have debt. It's just to pay off the debt that we had. And over the years, while we've tried to be frugal along the way, we've had car payments, we've had credit card payments. But now we're in a position where we've made a conscious decision to make all that stuff go away. And that in turn eliminates that stress from our marriage. There's enough other stress living the way that we do. There's enough other stress that that's my objective is to make as much of the unnecessary stress go away. So if I thought that buying you a $10,000 bracelet was going to advance my position as the father and the husband, I'm sure I would have tried it at some point along the way. But what I've learned is that building a TV console and putting my blood, sweat, and tears, I'm likely to get a better reaction out of that. And at the end of the day, all that I'm looking for is that reaction. So,
What about a trip to the Bahamas? Does that count?
when the last kid is gone, we will go to the
10
Bahamas.
years?
10 years?
10 years?
All right, when every project is done around here.
Okay, that's 20 years. Reef will be gone before that happens.
Okay. Yeah, I need to find a way to vacation. I need to find a way to relax a little bit more. Maybe we'll go over to...
If you can relax a little bit, then maybe you can be less stressed when you worked on projects.
Probably so.
That would-
That's one thing I don't do very well. But I love our life. There's not a whole lot I need to escape from other than our kids once in a while. But anyway, we both have to work very hard. I should say Cedar probably has to work way harder than I do as far as I'm sure I'm a handful. There's no question that being married to me is a full-time job.
Should I comment or should I just smile?
I just know that I don't care about anybody. At the end of the day, there's nobody else's approval that I'm looking for other than my wife in so many aspects of our life. And so if I go spend money on something, we have definitely talked about it. And again, just because it doesn't show up on a video doesn't mean that it's not happening. So anyway, Happy New Year, you guys. We'll see you on Sunday.